Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Sunday. It is September the 28th, and I find myself torn today. The Toronto Blue Jays could clinch the division, and I kind of feel like I want to cover that on my second channel, but there's hockey preseason on, and I want to watch that as well, and I've already got a board set up to watch some preseason hockey, so we'll see what I end up deciding to do. But for the news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet, we start off with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the reason I'm wearing Penguins gear. Marc-Andre Fleury got a perfect send-off last night. So there's still some discussion about whether or not teams are going to want him and try to talk him out of retirement as the season rolls along. I would not be surprised if teams make that effort, keeping in mind that numerous teams reached out to Marc-Andre Fleury during the offseason to make sure he actually was sure about the retirement thing. So Fleury last night played one period of the game against Columbus. They then had the shootout after the game, even though it wasn't a tie game, just to have a shootout, practice the shootout. And it was kind of a perfect way to send him off. So at this point, that is the finish for Marc-Andre Fleury. We'll see if it is actually the finish. I think it is. I'd be surprised if he came back. I think we'll hear his name getting mentioned the same as we did Bergeron the year Bergeron retired. Because we knew Bergeron could still play, and we know Fleury can still play. But Bergeron was quite happy in retirement. And the one thing I noticed yesterday with Fleury was he just seemed really, really happy on that bench. He just seemed really happy. And if he was not too sure about retiring, maybe he wouldn't have looked that happy. But anyways, all the best to Marc-Andre Fleury. Anthony Stolarz will be staying in Toronto. As expected, they get the extension done before the season starts. It is a 4-year extension. The cap hit $3.75 million. That's a bargain. That is absolutely a bargain contract. That is some nice bookkeeping done by Brad Treliving and means that Toronto doesn't have to worry about their goaltending tandem for a while. So Stolarz is sticking around. Likely to be their starter. Probably gets into 50-plus games this year. Obviously, Woll currently on leave from the team. But having Stolarz signed for long-term, because he's still got one more year left in his contract, then 4 more after that, that's some good work by the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Stolarz sticking around, and it is something they don't have to worry about. Won't be a distraction during the season. Another signing to talk about yesterday, Cam Fowler signed an extension with the St. Louis Blues. It's a 3-year extension. $6.1 million cap hit, so it's a bit of a drop. He actually has a $6.5 million cap hit currently. So this is a drop of $400,000 at a time when the salary cap's going up. So it's a pretty good value that the St. Louis Blues are getting here, as well as Fowler, coming off of one of his best seasons in a long time. So, yeah, Fowler happy in St. Louis. St. Louis happy to have him. That's one UFA off the board for next summer, same as Stolarz. We're going to see that UFA class for next year get whittled down pretty quickly. Luff and Schoeneman amongst those who've been waived today. A lot of guys on waivers, but it's nowhere near what we're going to see in about a week's time when teams have to get down to that 23-man roster. The New Jersey Devils, they waived Schmelzer. So if you're going, who? It's all right. He's on waivers. Everybody from yesterday's waivers cleared as well. Kevin Weeks is reporting that the New Jersey Devils are offering an extension to Markstrom. It's a $5 million cap hit is what he's reporting. I did not put Markstrom's name on the board. Promise that's who I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's what Kevin Weeks is reporting is the offer that's out there from New Jersey to Markstrom. Markstrom currently has a $6 million cap hit. In the event they keep Markstrom, and apparently both the team and the player want to make that extension happen, means New Jersey's goaltending will remain Allen and Markstrom for a while, which I think opens up the possibility maybe Nico Daws gets traded. Nico Daws requires waivers if they do decide to send him down to Utica. I don't know if Daws clears waivers if they do decide to send him down. And if they're going to keep Markstrom and Allen around, it doesn't make a lot of sense, I don't think, to keep Daws for much longer. He is of an age where he should be playing NHL games, so we'll see what happens there. Getting into more of the waiver news, the Montreal Canadiens have waived Belzile, Condotta, Farrell, Klerman, and Del Gaizo. Del Gaizo, of course, comes in from Nashville over the summer. We'll see if he clears. Like I said, everybody from yesterday cleared today. Fowler and Roy amongst those sent to Laval. A lot of players sent down by Montreal today. Smart move to send down a bunch of players. I still think that waiving them earlier is better than waiving them later in the training camp. But at any rate, yeah, Montreal cutting their roster by, I think it's 24 players they've sent down today. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they put Fanti, Lundmark, Sabourin, and Santini all on waivers. I would imagine these guys clear unless there's a team in the NHL that views Scott Sabourin as a good option on the fourth line as a grit player, but I think he probably clears and gets sent down. Columbus, they waive Hudson Fasching. That might be one to keep an eye on. Brendan Gaunce, Putia on waivers as well. I wouldn't be entirely surprised to see Putia get picked up on waivers, but again, we haven't seen anybody picked so far. Del Bell, Belouz, Malatesta, and Svozil are amongst those being sent down to Cleveland by the Columbus Blue Jackets today. Del Bell, Belouz had a goal in that game last night against Pittsburgh. Malatesta's a good young player. I don't know if he's got a lot of NHL upside at this point in time. Svozil, I'm kind of surprised, has not become a National Hockey League regular as of yet, but he's still young. Same with Malatesta, they're still young. Zach Jones and Lecision placed on waivers by the Buffalo Sabres. Surprised Zach Jones didn't break camp with the team and end up being maybe their number 7 defenseman, but it does show there's some depth on the blue line in Buffalo. Tony Nato has been waived by Chicago. Not a huge surprise there. I would expect he probably clears. Colorado waives Addard. Ronnie Addard has played games in the National Hockey League, so we'll see if he ends up clearing. Again, very likely does. Dallas also placing some players on the waiver wire. Capo Bianco, Lind, and Strangis all being waived by the Dallas Stars. Not entirely surprised by these. Capo Bianco can be a decent depth defenseman. Of course, that is Cole Lind, famously a Canucks prospect who ended up in Seattle, and it didn't end up hurting the Canucks. Mishak has been waived by the Anaheim Ducks. Very likely clears and gets sent down as well. So a lot of players on waivers today. It does feel like at some point in time we're going to get a claim, but maybe those claims won't happen as of yet. Teams are still trying to finalize their rosters, of course. So we'll see. Let me know your thoughts. Do any of the players on waivers get picked up? So the battle for the backup position for the Flames continues. Reportedly, there are teams who are interested in Devin Cooley, who could be the backup for Calgary, but they also have Prosvetov, and neither of these goaltenders can be sent down to the Wranglers without having been put on waivers. So Calgary still giving both goaltenders a look to try to see which one they're going to go with as their backup goaltender, and it doesn't appear that they've come to a decision as of yet. And Cairns may very well make the team. I'm not entirely surprised there. Cairns, good scorer for them at the American Hockey League level, and Calgary's a team that needs some goals. So the fact they need some goals and the fact that Cairns can produce those tells you that that might be a really good fit for the team and for the player. So there you go. There's your news of the day for now. If there's any other news that requires a video, there will be a video, of course, later on today. I would not be entirely surprised because it is that time of year where things can happen fast. That being said, we still have not seen trades. We had expected trades in August. They didn't happen. We're now almost to the end of September and still not a lot in the way of actual player movement since early July. So maybe that continues, and it's just we have what we have. And maybe with the salary cap moving up the way that it is, teams don't need to make the moves that they used to. So everybody kind of has at least a little bit of cap space for the most part. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. And the big question is, so Marc-Andre Fleury's retired now, right? Nobody will talk him into coming back. Pittsburgh wouldn't talk him into coming back, right? Right? So if let's just say Jari has some big struggles, we're not going to hear a bunch of rumors about Pittsburgh trying to reach out to Fleury, right? We'll see. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. And we'll see. So there's 3 NHL games I'll be watching today, which is Washington, New Jersey, Chicago, Minnesota, and then Vancouver, Edmonton. Because they're spread out as much as they are, may catch myself some baseball today and see if the Blue Jays can actually win the division. They're going to be in the playoffs either way, so that'll be fun to cover. But I do have 3 Blue Jays jerseys, so I'm all set if they actually win the division. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.